I've made a huge mistake.
Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Welcome, guys, to episode 5 of my Detroit Red Wings franchise mode. But before we move forward and sim the last 21 games of this season, I want to talk about episode 4 quite a bit. Now, man, where do we start? Obviously, there was debate leading into the trade deadline episode. Do we buy or do we sell? And then there was, on my part, how I wanted to handle actually selling. And that was the whole I need your help episode. That was kind of an in-between. And overall, I'm happy with that episode. I was a bit nervous about it being nearly an hour long. That is the longest episode of a series I've ever had outside of the first episode of the Fantasy Draft series, which was the entire draft. But I wanted to take my time with those trades, unlike with the offseason where I'll be like, hey, we did these trades, and these trades. Let's look at the team before the new season starts. So I wanted to take my time with those. And looking at the deals, the Jimmy Howard trade, pretty good. Maybe a bit balanced in our favor as we get Mrazek Faksa back, but it is what it is. The Victor Hedman trade, or not the Victor Hedman trade, the Nicholas Kronwall trade, where he'll probably be on a pairing with Victor Hedman. I don't know. Maybe getting Matt Spencer was a bit too much, but of course Tampa is in first place, and that is how I validate that move, because they are going to be looking to win the Cup this year. The big concern comes with the Henrik Zetterberg trade, where simply put, a massive oversight and mistake on my part has put this team into a much more difficult position than we really should be in at the moment. And again, there's no other way to go about it. Whether it was tunnel vision, just a lack of focus, I made an awful mistake. I never said that I was perfect, I guess, that I wasn't susceptible to making mistakes, although a lot of people seem to think so in terms of how I run these sims. But to end up with Tom Wilson, Tom Gilbert, Jay Beagle, and Daniel Winnick, which, by the way, about sending down Daniel Winnick, was it a mistake? Maybe. He has 1 year left on his deal, so we couldn't have traded him at the deadline. He would have been scratched, so he would have been complaining, and his morale would have dropped. So I'm not too concerned, although it certainly wasn't ideal. The fact is, right now, we should have Andrei Burakovsky on this roster, or Jakub Vrana in the AHL, probably on that top line right wing spot. And a simple mistake, a huge oversight on my part, has prevented that. So, as much as I'd love to be like, yeah, let's go back and do that over, no, we gotta live with it. I made an awful mistake, and this team is gonna pay for it in the near future here. I'm sure eventually we'll be able to recover, but yeah, overall, a massive, massive mistake on my part. This is the team that we are moving forward with. Yes, I know Applicator on the top line. Larkin on the second line, still hoping he can progress, although he hasn't made too much of an improvement yet. Athanasiou, Faksa, and Mantha, though, as a third line, is looking pretty good. Our defense, no other way to put it, is absolutely abysmal. The goaltending, Mrazek put us into a spot where it was debatable as to whether or not we were going to sell. In the end, we did. Whether or not he can still drag this carcass of a team into the playoffs, who knows? Jay Beagle, of course, a scratched player for us right now. Down in the AHL, they're looking okay. Obviously, the big thing was to be able to sign these 6 or so players. It was 7 players if you include Cal Heater, so that we can really get the AHL into a much better spot. We do have some good prospects down there. For the most part, especially defensively, with former UMaine product Dan Renouf, Daniel Brickley, Neil Pionk, I don't know, Joe Hicketts as well. So we're still looking okay, and obviously Parker Gahagan will be the goalie with Niemi. Who knows what the hell we can do. If we can't trade him at the draft, we'll buy him out in the offseason. But yeah, that Zetterberg trade is going to haunt me for a long time. Until we get this team into a state that I'd prefer them to be in, I'm going to regret that trade. It was that bad. I can admit it. It was that bad. Now, before we move forward here, I did make a few more trades, and actually we're going to go down to the bottom here because there were 2 trades made by the AI. Radim Verbata went to the Islanders for 2 prospects, and Matt Tennyson was swapped straight up for J.F. Berube. Then you have our trades, which, Jesus Christ, too, I gave up Jordan Sambrook, too. Oh my God, that trade was so bad. All I had to do was retain a bit more salary on Zetterberg. Ugh. All right, got to move on. It happened. Of course, then, we get rid of Lashoff, McElrath, Robbie Russo, Thomas Nosek, Tangrady, and Holmstrom, just to free up space in players that we weren't going to use anyway. So that's where we kind of started to hoard draft picks. And I went and started to rectify that with this Vancouver trade as we swap picks. And that's pretty much all these are going to be. After this, we sent Jake Patterson and a 3rd-round pick to Arizona for their 2nd this year and a 4th next year. Might have been a little bit cheap to get that 2nd-round pick for Patterson. I personally don't believe Patterson is going to turn in to a half-decent goalie, so I probably could have been a little bit more conservative, just straight up like a 4th-round pick. But yeah, we do get a 2nd from Arizona to make me feel a little bit better. And then the rest of these deals, you can look through them on your own time. There's only 2 of them, actually. It's just me swapping picks because I do want to stand firm in terms of only having 12 draft picks in a single draft. That way, it's not too crazy and I can't hoard that many draft picks, as I'll show you guys here. And we have no more than 3 picks in a single round. So again, trying to limit what we can do. 2018 is pretty crazy, and we're going to have to, make trades, and we're going to basically have to keep trading down, but I'm all right with that. Eventually, it'll work itself out. I am intrigued, though, as we finally get into the sim in this episode, so hey, good news for that. But I am intrigued to see if we're able to get any waiver claims. We do have 1 roster spot open. The rest, I believe, have been taken up as Tom Gilbert gets hurt in his first game. The rest have been taken up by players that are down in the CHL. There are quite a few. Giovanni Smith, Matt Spencer, one of the bigger names that is actually in that spot. Let me go to roster moves. I think we're going to have to call up Sproul because of just a general lack of team depth at the moment. We could actually call up Matt Spencer. You know what? I'm going to do it. Let's get Matt Spencer some ice time, and then we'll send him back down to junior. Who the hell cares? That way I don't have to edit the AHL lines. But let me go best lines here. We are going to have to fix this up pretty heavily, but that is okay. Let's get all of this set. It does put Jay Beagle in rather than Radek Faksa, which is going to be a problem. For the most part. I mean, really all I have to do is just hit a few buttons. But let's see here. In particular, I do want Ule on the 3rd pairing. Still, he will be there with Matt Spencer, who is definitely the gem of the trades we just made. Thank God we at least picked him up. But it is deadline day. Oh, how I wish I could make more deals. But we're going to stand pat. I mean, there are other players I'd like to get rid of. Erickson, Nielsen, Abdelkader, Helm, Mike Green. In time, we will get rid of them. We're not going to do too much too soon, as it is. A lot of those guys, I think everyone except for Mike Green, is locked up beyond this year. So it's pretty crazy. That's the thing. Did we get much for Zetterberg? No. We're still in a hell of a situation where we are a long way away from legit contention. We still have a lot of work to do. There were no other trades. Really. No other trades, no other signings. That's one thing I don't like about the franchise mode in its current state. It's just simply the lack of trade deadline day being a presence like it was on previous gen, with the cell phone system and all of that. It's just not as exciting, not as fun. But speaking of fun, 2 straight wins for the Red Wings. Despite these changes, we are still in a wild card spot. Guys, there is a legitimate chance that we could still make the playoffs this year, which is why I'm all right with us selling. Mrazek, like I said, could very well carry this carcass into the playoffs. And at the very least, we would have gotten something for Zetterberg. We might trade Jay Beagle for nothing. We might trade Tom Wilson. We're at least going to get some things back in the meantime. As Jared Coro get 3 out of 4 points as he gets his first 2 starts of the year. So not too bad for Coro. We are a long way away. Like I said, I'm happy with the Howard deal, especially now that Coro just picked up 2 wins. I'm happy with the Cronwall deal, getting somebody like Matt Spencer. I think he is going to be a great addition to this team. Tom Wilson's up to an 84. Holy shit. Maybe we won't trade Tom Wilson. Maybe he's going to turn into an excellent third liner for us. That Zetterberg deal, man. That's going to sting. If we make the playoffs, I will definitely feel a little bit better about it. There's a strong chance, like I said, that we could. As we sim the rest of March, we will give Mrazek the next 4 games. And then I think Coro will probably play. He's going to get at least a couple more appearances this month. Is Tom Gilbert fully healthy? No, he isn't. I'm almost content to just leave Tom Gilbert scratched and to keep Matt Spencer on this lineup. I'm not joking. I'm not. I think that might be better for us in the future because I don't know how long Tom Gilbert will be around for. It'd be a different situation if we were talking about Andre Burakovsky. Oh my God. All right, Matt Spencer, how have you done so far? Fuck it. He's staying. Whatever. He's staying. He's a part of the future. Tom Gilbert is most definitely not. But it'll be good to have for team depth. So let's get, Coro will play. I'm probably going to have Coro play. It depends on how much I want to edit the roster as we lose back-to-back games. Mrazek, that is disappointing. 7 goals in 2 games. Still in the lone wild card spot in the Atlantic. Can you believe it? Mrazek still with a .932 save percentage. Godlike performance from him this season. So let's see here. Coro will play against Arizona. I was going to have him start the next 2 games as well. He didn't get the win, though. So let's put Mrazek back in. And lineup management. It is so fun. And I do wish it would definitely be it's not an important thing in the words escaping me right now. A convenience, essentially, from the calendar menu, as we have 12 games left. From the calendar menu, I would love if down in the bottom left-hand corner it said, hit the Y button to switch your goalie. I know that would take some programming and some coding, EA, but that would be incredible to just be able to hit the Y button and switch out my goaltending because I really don't have faith in the auto-rotate system. It might have been improved, admittingly. I've said it a few times. I haven't used it too much in these recent games. But, yeah, it'd be nice. It would be convenient. Back-to-back wins, 12 goals over 2 games. Holy shit. Man, we're only 3 points back of the Sabres. We have 6 points on Ottawa and Boston. We are going to make the playoffs because of Petr Mrazek. Oh my God. Wow. All right, well, again, this certainly changes the outlook of the team. Ideally, from the start, we would have, just been terrible and battling for that lottery pick. But with this sim engine, you never know. And even without Zetterberg and Cronwall, we are finding success. As crazy as that is. And maybe it's just because the Atlantic Division's a little bit weaker than the Metro. I don't know. We at least have one of those spots. We have to play Tampa next, though. That's going to suck. That is going to suck. We have 2 games against Tampa coming up. Mrazek is in for a while here. We'll have Coro in for the away game against Ottawa and this game against Montreal. Until then, it is Mrazek in goal for us. Will the Red Wings be a playoff team in year one that is now back-to-back losses, a 3-1 loss to the Lightning. We play the Minnesota Wild. That's another 3-0 loss. Oh boy. 3-1 win over Carolina. We rematch against Tampa. 4-2 win. We are 1 win away from 40 on the season. Do we get it against Toronto? No. 5-1 loss against the Leafs. And then a 3-1 win against the Sens. 40 wins on the year. 3 games to go. We are still in that top wildcard spot. There is a chance we could miss out because Jared Coro will play 2 out of those last 3 games. So let's take a look here. 2 points clear of Boston. Toronto, a little bit too far out of it. I would say they can get, 8 points? So, they're still in it technically. But right now, it is interesting. It is interesting as the Metro, the Islanders, the top team in the Metro. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. And whether or not Jared Coro, who we could have held on to Jimmy Howard, who wasn't doing well, Coro tearing up the AHL, deserved this opportunity. Can he get it done? 4 appearances, a .915 save percentage, 1 win from Coro. That's all we need. 1 win in these next 2 games. I'd say we need to win 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 to be safe here. So let's do this. Against the Sens, it's a 1-0 loss. And Dan Cleary goes down to injury in Grand Rapids. Right. Gonna have to have a defenseman replace him because we don't have any forward scratches. We play Montreal. Can we get the win? We can't. Shut out in consecutive games. Is that it? Boston leapfrogs us. We might miss the playoffs by as little as 1 point. That would hurt. That would hurt a lot. Let's take a look at the situation here. As Florida has, the 2 Florida teams have dominated this division. Boston is done. They have played all 82 games. Ottawa, 1 game left, 2 points back of Boston. They would have the tiebreaker on Boston, I do believe. They would, if they win this game. They'd have more wins, more regulation plus overtime wins. If we win, we are in. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. As we look over at the Metro, 85 points for the Flyers. We're guaranteed a wild card spot. This might as well be a playoff game, and we're going to sim it. If we win, we are in. If we lose, the season is over. We're playing the 29, 49, and 3 New Jersey Devils. Unbelievable. Holy shit! Oh my god! I fucking told you guys. I told you it was a good call to get Matt Spencer. Can you believe it? Up to an 84 with how many games played? 19 games played. He went up 6 overall points. You know what? I don't even care if we miss the playoffs. I don't care how badly I fucked up the Zetterberg trade because I dominated that Cronwall deal, whether or not Tampa wins or not. But if Tampa wins the cup, then both teams equally won. Holy shit, Matt Spencer. Oh my god. I don't know if he's glitched out or what. I don't care. Right. Let's do this. Let's fucking do this. Come on. Matt Spencer's up 6 points. We can make the playoffs right here, right now. Let's do this. Holy shit. We won. We won 2 out of 3 trades. Can we make the playoffs? Let's go. Let's go. First period. Gustav Nyquist, the opening goal on Keith Kincaid. No Corey Schneider, 12 shots to 5. Fantastic. Second period. All right, we still have the lead. Franz Nielsen made it 2-0. Henrique gets a goal back. We're up 2-1. Heading into the third. Can the Red Wings hold on Power play for the Devils is killed. Another power play for the Devils. That is also killed off. We have a 5-on-3 that we can't do anything with. Mrazek makes it 3-1. The Red Wings. Taylor Hall gets a goal back. Oh, shit. Come on. Come on. Dylan Larkin the goal. It's 4-2. Is that enough? Yes, it is. And the Red Wings, despite a controversial trade deadline day, are moving on. We are going to the playoffs. Holy shit, how did that just happen? That is unbelievable. I had to knock the Bruins out on the last day of the year. Come on. Oh, that is ridiculous. From Matt Spencer to having to knock out my team on the last day of the season. Holy shit. The Detroit Red Wings are moving on. We are in the second wild card spot. We are going to get stomped in the first round. I don't care. You know, like I said, I would have preferred us to be a lottery team. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, we are in the playoffs. Matt Spencer's a fucking beast. Oh my God. And bravo, he should win the MVP. Mrazek drags us to the playoffs. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. This season, whether it be our success, the way the trade deadline went, I still don't think anybody could have predicted this. But we are going. We are going to the postseason. That opportunity is there. Once you're in the playoffs, you never know what will happen. We finish with 93 points. That is beautiful. Oh my God. Now some teams still have games to be played. I just want to scroll down to the bottom here. The Devils are the worst team in the NHL. So we won what was, like, you look up must-win game in the dictionary, it should be that game. And we did it. We did it. Thank God. Let's take a look, though, at our player stats really quick, the league-wide stats, and then we'll figure out who we're going to be matched up against in the first round. Franz Nielsen still led the team in points. Of course, Zetterberg probably would have been up there. But Nielsen with 57, 56 for Mantha, 53 for Nyquist, and 51 for Tatar. Larkin and Helm not too far off. I'm surprised. I am very surprised. 4 50-point scorers this season. Strong year for Mike Green. Decent, not great for Abdicator. 30 points for Athanasiou, I am happy with. Tom Wilson hit 30 points. Not too bad at all. By the way, Riley Sheahan, 9 goals. God damn, I should have placed a bet on that. How many goals he would have had. And in 16 games for the team, Tyler Bertuzzi, or in 61 games, had 16 points. I wasn't totally against what he was able to do for us this year. Radek Faksa, 7 points in 21 games. Matt Spencer, oh my God, that is insane. The goaltending, I mean, Mrazek, you beast. Coro, though, a 932 in 6 games. Not the greatest record, and obviously had some relief appearances for Mrazek, but overall, incredible. Let's look, actually, no, here, let's sim the final day. We'll sim the final day, and then we'll take a look at the league-wide standings or point total. So let's see, what is the playoff matchup going to be? We first have to, we got to take care of the scouting. Let's go 3 weeks there. Who's it going to be? We got to sim one more day? Okay, who's it going to be? Place your bets. It's probably going to be like Pittsburgh or Washington. If it's Washington, that's going to blow. Who's it going to be? And it is the New York... It is the New York Islanders, which I probably should have guessed, because they've torn it up this year. They're going to tear us a new one in the next round. But let's take a look at the point totals. We're going to look at the full bracket, and we will call this episode good. What an episode it has been. What an episode it has been. So let's take a look. Let's scroll on over. Who led the league in points? Vladimir Tarasenko. Jesus. 109 points. 61 goals. Ovi hit 50 again. 61 for Tarasenko. Look at that, man. 43 for Kane, 40 for JVR. And that's it. 2 40 goal scorers, 150 and a 60. That is absolutely insane. Never would have guessed that. Bergeron up there for scoring, as is Gallagher. But you look at the point total, Stamkos, Giroux, Ovechkin. No really surprising names. Voracek, maybe, just because in real life he's struggling a bit. David Pastrnak, 19 goals, 60 assists. I'd say that's a little bit surprising. Marchand up there as well. The real life, I mean, he's a beast. People were debating me over that 90 overall rating when I first showed off the rosters a few months ago. Don't you feel silly? Don't you? If you don't, you should. But anyway, as we get a look at some of those other point totals, let's take a look at the goaltending and who led the league. How about with checking wins? Although I imagine it'll be Thomas Greiss up there. That is for sure. Let's look at save percentage first. It is Thomas Greiss, no doubt about that. But then it's Mrazek. Mrazek, second behind Greiss for starters. Thomas Greiss, what a year for him. Crawford up there in terms of wins. Damn. Let's take a look, though, at the rookie scoring race. And, yep, that's kind of what I expected. 72 points for Austin Matthews, up to a 91 overall. Mitch Marner in 86. Not too far behind, missed some games. I imagine the Calder goes to Matthews. Mikko Rantanen up to an 85 for Colorado. Ryan Hartman in 84. Line still in 87. 58 points. Anthony Mantha was up there, not too bad. Sebastian Aho had a good year, as did Matthew Tkachuk. Miles Wood up there for the Devils. So we take a look at, I'm mainly looking at some of the overalls rather than the point totals. But overall, Austin Matthews, probably the favorite to win it. Looks like he's running away with it. And as far as rookie goalies, they weren't really a factor. Guys, this episode comes to a close as we are suddenly in much higher spirits than we were before. Imagine that. As you get a look at the playoff bracket, Colorado, St. Louis, Chicago, Minnesota, LA, Calgary, Arizona, and Edmonton. And in the East, Pittsburgh, Washington, we play the Islanders, Florida, Buffalo, Tampa, and the Rangers. The Detroit Red Wings have made the playoffs. The future, while it still needs a lot of work, and this franchise still needs a lot of work to become what I want it to become, the fact is, we are in the playoffs in our first year. And with the way Petr Mrazek is playing right now, anything is possible. At least it is in the words of the great Kevin Garnett. Guys, I can't thank you enough for watching this episode. I hope you did enjoy it. Hey, at least it wasn't an hour this time, right? Much more approachable. I hope, again, that we are able to overcome the Henrik Zetterberg trade. I feel like we took good strides in doing that in this episode. If you did enjoy, though, of course, feel free to support the video, the channel, support me in any way that you deem necessary. Any amount of support is greatly appreciated, as we may hit 3,000 subs by the time this video's up. If not, we'll hit it shortly after, I do imagine, which 3K subs is about, I don't know, about 2,500 more than I ever expected to hit max. So that's pretty sweet. That's pretty cool. Guys, I need to end this episode. I'm terrible with ending episodes. Thank you once again, and I will see you guys in round 1.